And with me today is Twitch user Lordofthetrees2440, aka Forrest. I want to say, first of all, thank you for coming on to the show, and I'm looking forward to getting to know you a lot better than our previous encounters of you just trying to beat the fishing in my stream. So,
Hey man, no worries. Welcome. Thanks for having me.
yep. All right. Now, first and foremost, I want to get a little bit of a. I look already trying with the fishing. All right, I want to get a little bit of a background on you, before we get into all the stream stuff. So I know your name is Forrest. Now, what what drew you into the entertainment aspect of everything? Like, what really pulled you into wanting to do streaming?
Well, it kind of stems from just being a gamer since I was a kid.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
Um, but it really didn't the idea of it didn't even really take hold on me until college. Like I was like a sophomore in college, and my buddy was like, "Hey, have you ever considered like being a YouTuber for gaming?" And I was like, "No, I don't have a computer. I don't have any of that fancy stuff. Like, how would I even do it?" And basically, after talking with him, he convinced me, and then that project completely fell through the ice and drowned. Um, which then led me talking to another one of my friends who was already like an established content creator,
Okay.
and he kind of just said, "Hey, here's kind of what you did wrong. Here's what you could have done instead, and here's what I'd recommend for you." And then eventually, that actually led to me like changing majors in college and focusing actually on. I swapped from majoring in psychology and focusing on like counseling stuff, and actually that became a minor degree, and then I switched my majors to communication, focused on digital broadcast media.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, uh, I went to college for quite a few things. I can never really specifically narrow anything down because of my interest level, and I've got ADD really, really bad. And I actually went to do a little bit of psychology as well, so that I think it's kind of cool and neat to have, we have somewhat of a similar background with that aspect as to, we went to school for at least for a little bit for the same thing. Now, I did some digging on you. I found your YouTube. I went on there and I found something on your YouTube that I found really, really interesting, and I thought it was really, really cool, to the point where I even showed my son. Um, you work for a news company, right? You're a reporter, right?
Yeah, I was a reporter.
Oh, was okay.
Yeah, yeah. So digital broadcast is basically TV news.
Okay.
Like that's just digital broadcast is just kind of the fancy way to say it.
Okay.
Um, and I went to school to be a reporter for TV news, and basically I got a job in Montana. Well, I had it lined up before I even officially graduated, um, and then worked out there for just shy of 2 years before moving back to Washington. Um, and now I work as a content. Just to keep the description simple, I'm a private content creator for a private school.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, yeah, when I saw that, I was just like, "Wow, you're kidding, right? This is pretty amazing." Like, um, now I've done some things outside of you know content creating. Well, not necessarily out of content creating, because I've always done some type of creating in the arts, from music all the way to a million and a half other things. This is just where the wheel of fortune laid on me for my content creating. So first and foremost, when it comes to your streams, um, why why did you pick the name that you came up with for your Twitch, and where exactly did it come from?
Well, I mean, my name's Forrest.
Very true. Very true.
And what kind of happened was I had this like I've only had like 3 like gamer tags since like I've had Xbox like an actual Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
I had my like really immature. I was in middle school, high school days when I got my first Xbox gamer tag that had like 69 and all that fun stuff in it.
Oh yeah, all that fun. Yeah.
And then I had my one after that, which was Seahawks 24 Beast, because I'm a diehard Seahawks fan and I love Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I've had this gamer tag for a super long time, and I was like, I don't know what. So I thought about it, and then eventually I was like, like I'm kind of an egotist, and I'm all about myself sometimes. And I was like, I'm gonna be the Lord of the Trees, and then poof.
It's off to the races, as they say.
Yeah, and basically, I was trying to think of a character, like, because when I stream, I'm still me, I'm myself. But the way I always look at it is, I use streaming as somewhat of as an escape.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a passion to create content like this and to have fun with communities. So I want it to be like, if I had a really bad day at work or just a stressful day, I can come into my stream and use that as my like emotional or mental reset to kind of just get away from all of that noise,
right,
and focus on fun. And and the Lord of the Trees is that persona, so to speak. And and to be honest, I love puns, so it's also a pun of my name.
Oh yeah. Real quick, in the chat, Bring the Noise says that you are awesome, a great person to interview. I just wanted to throw that out there because I've popped into your streams unknowingly to you some of them. One time you did know that I was in there, and your chat just seems to absolutely adore you. So I just wanted to bring that up. That person said that. Now, your backstory for your name is a hell of a lot better than mine, and that whole you wanted to be that character, but it's actually just you with a certain amount of things dialed up to 11. I learned that back when I was in my early 20s. This is that whole character thing. I used to professional wrestle, as some viewers will know, and anybody that's new, they don't know. I used to be a professional wrestler, and I learned the talking aspect and the characterization from that, and I took that over to streaming. So what would be some of your biggest influences as to what you do for your streaming character outside of it really just being you? Like, is there any little quirks that you took from a different source and just were like, I seen them do that, I can do it, but I'll tweak it just a little bit?
Yeah, well, one of the person that I've always kind of looked up to or has asked for guidance when it came to content creating was actually one of my friends who I mentioned earlier, who's also a content creator. You guys can find him. He's the Geek Ranger. He's in my streams at least once or twice a week. We kind of we pop in and out of each other's stuff. And he's one of my really, really close friends from college, and I wouldn't be content creating or wouldn't have gotten to the point of it that I have gotten to and currently am at without him. Because he was a film major in college, and he was basically like our college's sound guru. If anybody needed anything sound, they immediately went to him. He was the guy. And I always went to him with questions, because when I went into communication stuff and learning about film and media and like how to content create, I knew absolutely nothing. 100% nothing. I was like, I can point and shoot a camera, but I can't even promise it'll be focused. That's how bad I was at first. And he kind of coached me. Well, it kind of started as he let me help him with his projects, which got my fire cooking to make my own.
Okay.
And from there, it's stemmed into this relationship that him and I have of constantly we're constantly supporting each other. We ask each other questions all the time. And like, I don't know how he views it, but like a lot of it for me is it's always been like I view him like he's not like he's some big ninja like streamer, right?
Right.
But I mean, like, he could have like half as much of the following as I do, and I'll be like, oh my god, like he is like ninja in my brain. Like that is like kind of the pedestal of creation that I have him personally put on, because of like I know I couldn't have gotten to where I'm at without him. So it's just a lot of love back and forth between him and I. It's, especially since like he kind of got like he's the one who talked me into trying out communications as a field in the first place.
Okay.
So I might not never even have been a reporter.
Right.
Yeah,
for me, my biggest influence to coming into the stream is he's not overly known, but like you said, your buddy is your ninja. You see him as ninja. For me, it's the same way, and that's the Real Asian Robot. He got me into streaming and everything, and I didn't, at first I was like, I don't want to do this. I enjoy games, but I can't really bring out my over-the-top personality into it, and he showed me that I could, and he's been holding my hand and leading me the entire way forward. So it's good to know that you have somebody like that for you. So in your streams, I've noticed a certain part of your attire. And okay, let me back that up. I didn't notice it. I was just watching how you interact with your chat and everything. My son noticed it, and his exact words were, "Daddy, is he wearing a crown?" I said, I said, "Yeah, buddy, he's wearing a crown." And he said, "But Daddy, why is he wearing a crown?" And I said, I don't know. And he said, "Daddy, he's coming on your show, right?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Will you ask him for me why he wears the crown?" So it's not my question. It's my 8-year-old's question, and that is, what made you want to start wearing the crown?
It goes back to that character, man. And I was like, I really wanted the thing, and I was thinking about it for a long time. I was like, I'm the Lord of the Trees, and one day I was like, I want a crown. It was kind of simple. It's like, I'm gonna wear a crown on stream. Like, okay. I'm going to be the guy who wears a golden little plastic crown in my streams, and I'm going to be the Lord of the Trees because every king needs his crown.
All right, so there you go, buddy. Logan, I know you're going to hear this. You always go on, and he's one of my biggest supporters on YouTube. He goes on and watches all my YouTube channels. So, Logan, when you watch this, buddy, there's your answer, all right? Daddy asked the question, and he answered for you.
Yeah. I guess as a little side fun fact, I actually texted my buddy Geek Ranger, and I was like, "Yo, what are your thoughts on if I wear a crown on stream?" And his exact reaction was, "Oh my god, yes!" So,
oh, that's great. Well, see, you got the crown thing, and when I have the video up, something that a lot of my viewers came to love was when we would hit a certain amount of people, either viewing or follows, whatever I set it up to be. It was something that my sister-in-law wanted me to do, and she was watching me and she typed it in the chat. Everybody started going absolutely apeshit for it, saying, you should do it. And I'm just like, no. And then everybody was saying to do it, and that's my booty dance. I get up and I do a booty dance. I haven't done it in so long, but when I did it, I had that exact same reaction from everybody saying that whole yas thing, and my 8-year-old was cracking up, and my wife was dying, and my 5-year-old, my youngest, my 5-year-old was just looking at me like, "Daddy, the hell is wrong with you?" But to be fair, my youngest, he's autistic, so he doesn't have the same view on everything but it was just great. So it's good to know that you're answering that one for Logan, because he would have drove me nuts if I never asked you that. So I've seen I've seen that you've mostly used your Pokemon streams. I've seen those your Sea of Thieves streams. Is there any other games that you commonly stream?
Yeah, so I'm definitely a variety streamer. So I wouldn't say that like I'll stream. In reality, I'll stream whatever on like a given day. But I just know as I've gotten more into it through the months, I've primarily streamed. I love Sea of Thieves number one, so I play Sea of Thieves all the time. I've been playing that game. I've been playing that game since launch.
Right.
And I adore that game. It has its faults, and I definitely will not call it a perfect masterpiece by any means. But I love that game. And I really actually wasn't streaming Pokemon and did not have the intention to. But my friend, who I just noticed is in the chat, Poketris, who's one of my like super best friends. She is a big Pokemon content creator, and I play all the Pokemon games and I do all the stuff. I just never put it on camera, basically.
Super bestie. You got to get it right.
Super bestie.
There you go. All right.
And talking with her kind of made me want to do it, and it stemmed as just like we had an experimental day where he basically co-live streamed her on TikTok with her following and myself on Twitch, and basically she was in the Discord with me and we were just shiny hunting on Sword and Shield, and she just said, "Hey guys, come over to this Twitch. This is where I'm hanging out today." And her followers came over and we were hanging out, and they loved what was going on, and it turned into, I mean, to be honest, like 45 new followers later and a bunch of shiny Pokemon that we gave away, and I was like, we're doing this every week. Because, and it's partly why I have the community that, it's not partly, it's pretty much majorly why I have the community that I do now behind my stream, is because she kind of presented me, and she presented an opportunity for me to get some actual exposure. And I mean, at that point, it was up for people to decide whether or not they liked what I did and wanted to hang around. But I wouldn't have gotten that without her help. And it kind of just stems back to like, I'm thankful for my support system that I got with my friends, because between Geek Ranger and Poketris and a lot of other people, like they make it, they're the people behind the scenes who make it possible. Like even my artwork is all done by outside of like Altered Edge stuff, all of my other artwork is all done by one of my close friends from college, and she doesn't charge me. She does it because art is her hobby.
Gotcha.
So it's like I wouldn't even have this art without my friends. Like, because I can't draw. I tried. It was awful.
Well then I'll have to let you know when I do my next drawing tutorial on Twitch. I do quite a few of them. But so what you're saying is your Poketris is one of your biggest supporters on Twitch.
100%. I mean, there are a lot of people who are pretty big supporters of me. But Poketris is known for the shiny Cramorant God, which is just, it's a new Pokemon in the newest game. It's and her supporter, her following is, I'm pretty sure it's called like the Church of Cramorant or something like that.
You.
and a lot of those people who really support her stuck around in my Discord, and we chat like every day, and they're constantly supporting me. And one of them is my main mod now. Like her and I share the same person who helps run our stuff behind the scenes now, and he is a stud at what he does. Like it's awesome. And so yeah, like I said, so yeah, definitely a huge part of why any of what I do is even possible.
Got you. All right. So my next question for you, it's a real simple one. Well, that's a lie. It could be a simple one. What is your favorite game to stream?
Oh God.
You see, I said it could be easy, it could be hard. You know what my favorite game to stream is. I got you into it. So,
hmm Um, yeah, yeah. No, Paladins. Paladins has now I'm playing Paladins and Overwatch, and now I have two games that I'm actively like grinding. Thanks, bud.
yep, that's what I do. You know, I gotta bring it in. You know, when I first started out on Paladins. A lot of people were playing Paladins over on Mixer, and when I had to make that switch to Twitch when Mixer shut down, I was like, you know what, maybe I'll do something else. And then I streamed a couple other games, and Paladins was like sitting there knocking on my door, and I was like, all right, we're going back to Paladins. So you're welcome. Welcome to the Paladins family, brother. So
Hey, man, if you ever need a Fury main. Um, so my favorite game to stream.
how about this? How
That
about like
is,
top three? Top three. We'll do that.
I mean, I only stream 4 games.
Okay, we'll do the top four. There we go. Perfect. Just put them in some kind of an order, and we'll be good to go.
I would say probably my favorite game to stream is more than likely Sea of Thieves. Um it has its nights where it is really hard to play, and that's just the style of the game.
Hmm.
But I think I've had some of my most memorable moments on stream playing those, and I don't play like Sea of Thieves has like a PvP and stuff in it, and but I don't play with the intention of PvP. I play with like, let's set this really random goal. Like I picked a random quest that we can just complete, and it's point A is where we spawn, point Z is completing this quest. We're gonna hit every letter of the freaking alphabet on the way there.
Okay.
Um, and that's kind of how I lay that stream out, because the game is a sandbox. You're dropped onto a map with your crew, and there's going to be 5 other crews, and it is basically survive or die, because that's just how the game is laid out. Any crew can do whatever they want to you. They can fight you. They can steal your stuff, and it turns into just shenanigans basically the entire time. And one of my buddies, King Tut, he plays with me pretty much every Friday, if he's not working. And so him, myself, sometimes viewers play with me, and then if I don't have a viewer available, then I'll just play with some friends, and we just go and do shenanigans. Like there's been moments where like I'll go on and I'll try to solo against an entire crew. Sometimes it works out and I look like a stud. Other times I get killed immediately. It's a lot of give and take, but I mean, like, it's just hilarious, some of the stuff that comes out of that game. I mean, I've sank someone's boat on stream with just a banana.
Wait, you sank it with just a banana.
Yes, so in Sea of Thieves, you can cook food, and like cooked food gives you extra health, basically, as
Right.
opposed to raw food. And if you leave food burning on the stove that's inside the ship, it will catch the ship on fire and inevitably sink it if you don't handle the fire. And I was basically trolling this ship of 2 noobs on stream with my buddies, and I put a banana on their boat when I saw their ship docked, and we basically just followed them around the map for like a solid hour, and then eventually like we left and then came back after like 15 minutes, and we saw their ship burning into the sea.
That is probably the greatest thing I've ever heard. Um,
um, yeah, so it's probably Sea of Thieves is my top. I mean, I have really come. I'm doing a Nuzlocke of Coliseum, and that has become so fun. Like I look so forward to that stream every week. It is hilariously fun.
all right, yeah, I've seen quite a few of the Nuzlocke challenges on YouTube. Thought about doing one, and then I was just like, no, I don't have the patience for that because not the patience, the memory, I should say. I don't have the memory for that. Um, the I just lost my train of thought there.
Choo choo.
Yep, it's gone. All right, well, all right. So your number one would be Sea of Thieves. Number two, you said would be your Nuzlocke. What about number three?
Um, so I'm kind of stopping streaming it for now, and in favor of streaming Overwatch.
Okay.
Um, and it's just because there's only so many days of the week that I can actually stream, so something had to give. And I really enjoy streaming Rocket League, but that game became a lot of give and take, and I wanted to play something that was a little bit more cooperative based with more people.
Right.
And a bunch of my friends are now into Overwatch. Basically, my friends that were playing Paladins with me are also bleeding over into Overwatch.
Gotcha.
And so we're going to be streaming Overwatch on Wednesdays, or I guess Overwatch / Paladins, depending on the week. So I would say those are probably my favorite, mostly because I love the strategy and the team aspects of those games.
Oh yeah.
And I think what's going to be really fun is my stream doesn't really ever get a chance to see me really play games that are that heavily like cooperative based. And I
Okay.
think it's just going to, with how much my chat spams my soundboard, I am going to be so garbage when I'm playing on stream. It's going to be hilarious because I'm just not going to be able to focus.
Well, you
Like,
said that you're going to be doing either Overwatch or Paladins on Wednesdays, correct?
yeah.
Well, let me know when you do a Paladins one on a Wednesday. If I don't have a baseball game, I'll pop on and I'll play a few rounds with you guys.
For sure, bro.
I've been looking for a new team, so
I'm always
it,
down.
yeah, it's that whole esport shutting down for it. It's really bothered me because I was in the market for an actual pro team, and I was in talks with somebody, and I was like, all right, let me play. I'll play a few rounds with you guys, see how the chemistry is, and then we can go from there. And then it shuts down, and then I didn't know it shut down until you said something, and I was like, wait, but
Yeah, that's kind of why we gravitated into Overwatch, is because one of my friends is kind of in that same mindset of he wants to at least take a chance at it. He wants to he wants at least one time in his life to say we all legitimately put in that effort to try.
right,
And that's kind of where we were at with it. And we thought it was going to be Paladins that we would try that with. And then I did some research on the game, found that basically I found a video which led me to their Twitter, which led me to finding that post. And I was like, oh, that's a bummer. And then I found out why they made that choice. And I
see,
was like, oh,
I don't know
that
why they made that choice. I couldn't find anything except for we just decided to not do it.
yeah. So for the sake of the interview, the skinny of the situation for any of the Paladins players out there, the skinny of what happened was the company that runs around the game basically ran the esports league straight into the dirt by really mismanaging money. And when you mismanage the thing that is the main attraction, like let's be real, like if it's an esports league, people are playing for money, they are adults, they get salaries, money talks. It's like a professional. It's like any other professional sport.
Right,
Money's the motivation,
right,
and it got to the point to where sponsors for teams were not getting paid. When players were being flown out to Georgia, they were being put into like 1-star motels. Like they weren't being like really proper. Like which I'm like, like personally, I'm like I don't care. You still flew me out.
right,
So like that's me, but I could understand how like there is an expectation that is set on these things, and
right,
it basically sounded like a lot of companies said A, but instead they did C, and they didn't tell anybody in between that they were doing this new thing, and it was a lot of mishandling, miscommunication, and then the fact that they signed exclusive rights for streaming first with Facebook. Um, they signed an exclusive rights with Facebook, and then signed an exclusive with Mixer, and then Mixer got bought by Facebook, and then like 3 years later they signed an exclusive with Twitch. But at that point they were so far behind the curve, and all of their viewers now had to bounce between 3 streaming sites to keep up with wanting to actually enjoy their content. So it was just so poorly mismanaged that I wasn't surprised when I found out that they discontinued it this year, because it sounded like it was a sinking ship that finally sunk.
Yeah. So outside of that, I want to talk to you a little bit about your Sunday Pokemon stream.
Okay.
You told me a little bit about it, but let's go with the um, how exactly does it work? You say you do it's a shiny hunt Sunday, right?
Yep, Shiny Hunt Sundays. It is my longest stream of the week. So my normal streams are only 2 hours. This one is 4. And what makes it awesome is, so if you're familiar with Sword and Shield's layout,
Mm-hmm.
in the newest DLC Frozen Tundra, there is a thing called a Dynamax Adventure, where you can team up with 3 other people and go through a cave. And basically, you are given random Pokemon at the start of the cave, and at the very end of the cave is a random legendary, unless you have the cave of a specific legendary saved, which in that case you can go and just repeat hunt that one. But the game works is you can only catch that legendary once. Now, here's where it gets kind of crazy. Is the way they developed it is shinies are easier to catch in the cave.
Okay.
So you, instead of spending 8 hours, or kind of an exaggeration, kind of not, hunting traditionally a shiny in traditional ways, you can go and hunt in this cave, and you get to do it with friends. And the whole concept is you get a random Pokemon. You each have one life. There's 4 lives shared between 4 people. So if you lose all those lives, you get knocked out and have to restart, basically.
Okay.
And there's a stronger chance that anything in the cave that you catch could be shiny. And it's generally only one thing, and you only get to keep one Pokemon that you catch in the hunt, and there's going to be 4, 4 interactions, basically. There's only going to be 4 Pokemon that you interact with. So 3 non-legendaries and then the legendary.
Okay.
And so because I could do that as a community game, I set up private hunts in stream, and I invite my community to come in and hunt shinies with me. And then every couple, after those caves take about 20 minutes each, so after like 2 or 3 runs through the cave, I do a random spinning wheel with anybody who's active in my chat, following or not. And as long as you're active in the chat, you can participate. And if the spinning wheel lands on your name, you get a shiny out of my personal inventory. And I pick a few to give out every week, and I just give them. I've given away everything from a bunch of shiny Charmanders to like shiny legendaries to funny shinies that are just really random that I've gotten. Shiny Squirtles, shiny. I'm trying to. It's been a lot. I've given away a lot. I'll give away we've been doing it for like a month now, and the most I've given away in a single Sunday was 8 shinies. It's usually somewhere between 4 and 8 shinies that I'll give away. It kind of just depends. If the chat is super hyped and there's a lot of people, I give away more to increase the chances for somebody to get something. Okay. But it's also, you also have a chance to get a shiny if you're hunting, if you end up getting in the queue to hunt with me. And I just basically make it a free for all in the chat of if you get in, you get in. If you don't, you don't.
Okay.
And that way it's a matter of. But if you're in the Discord, you can live chat with me while you're in the hunt. So, and then my mods basically will boot people out of that voice chat for me once we're done. Like I basically say, all right, you can say bye, and then you get booped.
Gotcha.
So yeah, so that's like the long answer to that. It's kind of a complicated stream with everything that goes on with it. Right. And then Poketris tunes in, and she also does it. So I always have a guest. So it's myself, a guest, and then my viewers play. So there's usually 2 to 3 slots for my viewers to jump in and play with me. And my viewers have gotten shinies through those hunts. There's been I've gotten the most recent shiny I caught doing that hunt was a shiny Mewtwo, which was freaking awesome. I was super hyped.
Oh yeah. I've never seen a shiny Mewtwo in all my years. I mean, I've gone on and I've seen them like pictures and everything, but I've never actually seen in game a shiny Mewtwo. So
Yeah, so that was also, and then like my viewers have gotten random shinies in our hunts, and it's awesome because it's like, because you get that reaction of, because you don't know until the very end when you're
Right.
checking the Pokemon you caught. So like it's awesome to get those reactions of just like silence, silence, silence. Yes.
Well, I gotta say you're a very entertaining a streamer, and that's one of the things that I look most at whenever I go into streams. You know, if the streamer's not entertaining, if they're not interacting with the chat, then they're not gonna make it very far. And I gotta say, you are one of the best I've seen in a while. So you know, I'll inflate. You said you at the beginning of the interview you got your little egotistical. I'll inflate that a little bit more with saying that. And it's. I mean, you earn it. Like you bust. From what I've seen, you bust your ass and you try to make it as entertaining and as fun for everybody. And that's what this industry is all about. And if you had to give, getting ahead of myself here, I believe you are affiliate, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what kind of advice would you give to people who are trying to make that affiliate, but are struggling with certain aspects? Like, what kind of advice would you give to them?
My advice. So I know this advice. I realized this advice after the fact. So my advice is don't stream with the goal of being an affiliate or partner. Which sounds weird. It sounds backwards. But my reasoning is that you as the streamer can't really control like that aspect of it, right?
Right.
Like you can only reach affiliate and partner if people choose to follow and stay in and watch you. Like you can do everything in your power to encourage that, but you can't make that decision for people.
Right.
So, and I didn't realize this until like after the fact I had gotten it, but I was also like every day I was focused on what I was going to be doing. I was like, I'm going to make some content. I'm going to blast myself on social media as much as I can. I'm going to be trying to be active in other streams. I mean, it's how you and I got connected. Was I was just monitoring Twitch groups and posting myself in them. I think I saw you just post about a podcast, and I was like, yes, I love podcasts. I want to be on that. Like, basically just being open to taking opportunities, and it's not an overnight thing. That happens, and so patience and setting realistic goals. Like, I'm thankful. Like, I have a really awesome support system. Like, I'm a part of several different groups that are really awesome supporters. Do I average a bunch of views? No. Like, when it took, like, I thought I was never going to get affiliated. Like, when I really started paying attention to it, because I was like, man, I only get like 2 viewers a stream. Like, I think I went through the thing that every new streamer goes through of like that self-doubt period.
Right.
Of like, there's no way. Like, I don't ever get followers. I've only got 2, like, I get like 2 viewers a stream, if that. They're only here for 5 minutes. And then talking with my buddies and like, I was talking with a lot of friends and talking with my support systems. And I was just like, hey, like, you know, I just kept saying, here's what I'm doing. Here's the day that I'm doing it. And here's the time I'm doing it. If you guys can, please stop by.
Right.
And eventually people did, and and eventually I did get affiliated. Now I think I'm thankful because I know people have gotten affiliated faster, but I did it when I picked up really trying to stream again. I got affiliated in about a month of really pushing for it.
Mm-hmm.
But I was streaming before that while I was still a reporter, but it was so broken up that I wouldn't say I was like consistently streaming, but I had a small following. Like, I had like 20 some odd followers. So I kind of had gotten myself halfway there with just straight up grinding.
Right.
And then once I was really able to put the commitment into it and make a schedule and commit to that schedule basically religiously, I then was able to push that thing. So I guess it's like, have a schedule, be patient, realistic goals.
Right. Yeah, because I've seen a lot of streamers that they have goals of like, I want to get a thousand subs in a week, or I want to get subs
Me too.
followers, and I'm like, what? Okay, that's not realistic at all. Like I do this on a what's it called? I'm really bad with words. Oh, full time. I stream full time. And my goals are like, okay, I want to get like 10 followers this week. And I stream, between 5 and 8 hours a day with 2 days off. It's my job. So if my goals are that low, then why would somebody who's not known, who's not affiliate, why would they make a goal like that? It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, there's been a huge boom of streamers, and I think there's like when people found out you could make money streaming, like real money streaming, everybody thinks, okay, I really want to do that. I would love to make money playing, because the attraction is make money playing video games,
Right.
and or talking or doing a podcast, whatever, and it's hard.
Oh yeah.
It is really hard, and like my advantage is like being a reporter. I worked insane shifts under insane stress, and after doing a lot of that stuff and creating on such tight deadlines, because I make videos, record audio, shoot footage, interview people, like that whole shebang. Like Twitch streaming is so casual for me at this point. Like
Right.
my brain goes slow when I'm doing it, because I don't do it at a pace that works for me, and I don't have to burn myself out doing it, which I think a lot of people are like, I'm going to stream 5 days a week and do the same. Like, nah, dude, you got to do what actually works for you. Like realistically, like I sat down and I talked with my fiance and I was like, hey, I want to really commit. Here's
Right.
the schedule I'm thinking of. I'm thinking 3 days a week, 6 hours a week, split, 2 hours a day, 2 hours on each of those days. What do you think? And she was
Right.
like, works for me. And then, we had to have those talks of like, okay, if I'm doing that, that means like if I'm streaming for 2 hours, that means I'm like unavailable for 2 hours.
Right.
Kind
Yeah.
of thing.
With you and your reporter background and all and being able to work under that stress and everything, that really gives you an advantage. And I like to think that my my background with wrestling gave me that exact same push and drive, because with wrestling, I don't know, viewers who are listening to it live, or all those that are going to listen to it later, I don't know if a lot of people understand what it means to be that professional wrestler. They see it on TV, or they go to an indie show or anything, and they're like, oh, it's fairly simple. But there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that they don't know about. Like, I would get told, oh, I'm going to wrestle this guy. All right, cool. I got to go to him, and we have to put together a match, a 15-20 minute match where we have to have certain spots in it, and we have to time crunch everything, and then we have to go out there and we have to do it. And if one small thing goes wrong, or one of us is off time and off tempo just half of a second, we have to change everything and do everything all over again. But that time we have to do it in front of a bunch of people, and that's where my advantage comes from with streaming. So I think it works out a lot better if you have some type of an entertainment in all of its different areas background to become a successful streamer. And I'm glad I found you. I'm glad that you wanted to come on the podcast, because you're real fun to talk to, and it's real entertaining, whether I'm in your stream watching you do your thing, or you come in mine and you blow up my chat and you break it.
I try.
I'm never gonna let you live that down. Just so you know, every single day, I'm gonna bring it up of something of how you were the first and only person to break my chat. And look, there you go. You're trying to do it again. Oh, and just so you know, today is the last day for that tournament. So you have today to beat that 16 kilogram carp. Otherwise, you'll have to try again and get it next month. But that's all the questions that I really had. If yep, there it goes.
I
If
won't break your chat.
no, if anybody in the chat has any questions, feel free to ask them up, and we'll just fill the rest of the time with me and you just bantering back and forth about whatever we want to, because like I told you before we went live, I try to make it an hour long. So if there's anything that you want to talk about, let's talk about it. I've got nothing. I haven't been awake fully for a little bit. I've been having a lot of trouble sleeping, and last night I finally got more than 45 minutes of sleep. So
Oh, jeez.
yeah.
That's fair, man. Yeah, I mean, I guess like for me, I guess for anybody who watches, like if you ever do like pop into my streams, just like my chat's really chill. Like it's pretty much consistently a lot of the same people at this point. So like just say what's up. If you see so this is a big thing for me, is I will never get offended if somebody notices something about my stream that is wrong or looks weird or doesn't seem quite right. Like somebody came in the other day and made a comment about one of my tags, and I was like, oh shoot, like you're right, like I should have fixed that tag. I completely forgot to. Like there's like whoops. So like just because it said playing with viewers and that specific stream I wasn't.
Gotcha.
And it provides these so like, it's little things like that, but like my friends will tell me like, yo, your audio seems weird, or can you turn yourself up or turn the music audio down? Like I love getting critiqued, even if it's a critiqued on stream, because I'd rather people tell me things are wrong so I can fix them then and there, so the rest of the stream is a good experience. Like I'll take 30 seconds of like awkward me fumbling around with something as opposed to 2-hour stream of like no audio.
Right. Yeah, I've made that mistake, not in stream, again back to wrestling, where I couldn't fix one specific thing, and I fully understand what you're saying. Is I'd rather take the time out to fix it. And that was when I wrestled. I had some of my trunks rip, so my naked bootay was all out in the open for everybody, and we couldn't exactly stop. And for me, run back and fix that, and it was my mistake. I bought trunks that were too small. So I completely understand what you're saying with the whole. I'd rather you critique me, let me know. And it's just you got to look at it as a way of everybody who's watching you trying to make you better, and a lot of people can't take that criticism, and I'm glad that you can.
Well, I mean, like I said, that's the name of the game, man. Like I make my you make a stream based on how you envision it in your head, and then you got to modify it accordingly. Like
right.
Like because at the end of the day, you're making your content and you're hoping people just like what you do.
Yeah.
And Poketris, I see her in the chat, is 100% right. We are super fortunate to have the communities that we do. A lot of super chill people. They're insanely respectful.
Right.
Like they're respectful to a point that I'm like, oh my gosh, like you guys are like just super amazing human beings, because like they won't even like. So, like sometimes they come across like my actual social medias, like my personal stuff.
Yeah.
And they're like super respectful. They're like I've had them tell me like, hey, I'm so, like I accidentally found your personal profile. Like I'm sorry, like I wasn't trying to stalk you. And I'm like, no, I don't care.
Yeah.
You're good. Like you like clearly you're not somebody like if there was going to be an issue with it, like there would have already been one, or like I would have stated it at the gate. But I'm like, I don't care. And I'm fortunate because, like, when I was a reporter, I'd get friend requests from viewers all the time. I've gotten, like, mail from them. Like, it just kind of happens. And I've just, like, it comes with the territory of being a public face,
Right.
in, public face in quotes, and I I just kind of welcome it because I'm like, if people care enough to want to try and like, I control what I say and tell everybody. So like, if I don't want to get super personal with viewers, then I don't.
Right.
But like, but like a lot of the viewers that I have now, I've had since basically the beginning at this point. So it's like those people are kind of exceptions to the rules at this point because I talk with them every day and we
Right.
chat every day, and they inquired about like my professions and career paths, and I'm like, here's what I did, and here's like, if you're, some of them are still in college, some of them are getting ready, so like I provide my 2 cents on the subjects if they ask,
Right.
just because I'm like, here's what I did, here's what I experienced. Ah, hi Kisa. uh, Seeing some more people popping in.
Yeah.
um so yeah, so it's fantastic. I mean, it's a huge family of people,
Yeah.
and it's pretty nice to say the least, to have that, and I'm sure a bunch of them are going to be super stoked to play some Sea of Thieves tonight. It's going to be
Yeah.
fun.
And with people coming into your chat, I've got a couple. It's an actual couple. They're married that used to come in all the time. But they've gotten different jobs and their schedule has been hectic and everything, so they don't get to come in as much. But I've gotten really close to them, and it was to the point where I about this. My wife and I, we just found out that we were pregnant a few weeks ago, and we went through and we told our moms, or our parents, and all that, and the first people outside of family that knew about it was them two. And I've never met them face to face or anything, but I have them on my own personal stuff, like my personal Facebook page. They're on there, and I went and told them about it, and then I just slowly started saying a few things live on stream about her being pregnant and everything. And it's all about that respect, like you said. You gotta you can't take offense to absolutely everything, and you can't think that everybody's stalking you because like you said, you're a public, you got that public face. And once you get that little taste of it, you go one or two ways. One way is it goes to your head and is, oh, I'm super massively popular. And then the other way is, hey, yeah, what's up, how you doing? Yeah, you're cool.
Yeah, pretty much. And I no, sorry.
No.
I think I don't know. I think that's part of why like our communities, myself, you, like Propetris, and even Kisa and a few other people, if they're still in the stream, are the way that they are, because like the communities are the way that they are because it's so. I think people, when I will go on Twitch, my biggest thing I'm always looking for if I'm a viewer is I want to talk to people. I want to interact. I want to have those interactions. I want to find a game that I like and talk with somebody about it.
Right.
Not necessarily play, but just talk. And a lot of the times, and I've tried to, and I think a lot of people, when like you go into a stream, and you get this a lot with bigger streams, you lose that main interaction aspect because there's just too many people to coordinate, number one.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not necessarily the streamer's fault, but like, how dare they be popular?
Right.
But I mean, like, people want to talk with you. They want to interact. You can't bank on the chat entertaining themselves.
Right. Right. Well, it's like, was it one of the times? I think it was one of the first times you came into my stream, and you were talking to me about Paladins, and you had all these amazing questions, and I answered it to the best that I could. Answered absolutely everything, and you asked, hey, can you show me this? And I went to it and showed it to you, and that's like you said, you don't exactly get that with the popular streams because of the over bombardment of people in the chat. And that really does play a factor into your community, and we get that amazing community. It's more of a family if you really think about it than it is anything else, because we'll pick on each other and we'll talk with each other, and if we have an issue, we can go to each other and be like, hey, this is what's going on. And I think I told you, this stream or this podcast was supposed to happen a while ago, and I had an issue at home, and instead of making up some BS excuse and canceling out on you, I straight up told you, hey man, this is what's going on. And I've had other issues like that before, and I told other people about it, and they're just like, well, fine, I'm just not going to come on your show, and you suck, and blah 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 blah. And you're just like, no, I get it, man. And that really says something about your character, And I really appreciate you being real, what's the word, patient with me, because with the pregnancy and the fact that you little bit more that you letting you in on a little bit more. My wife's also a type 1 diabetic, so T1 diabetic plus pregnancy equals a lot more issues in a typical pregnancy. And I think that's why I've been losing a lot of sleep, because her blood sugar's been pummeling at night down to where it's her readings are like it's in the 30s and 40s, and I don't want to I don't want her to slip into a coma or anything like that. So I stay awake watching those numbers religiously. And I really appreciate the fact that you're real down to earth on that. So I gotta say it again. I thank you for that.
Like, yeah, man. Like I said, it's all about what it is. Like you roll with the punches on things, and it's just not. I'm just chilling. That's just kind of how I am about it. A lot of it just
right.
Yeah, we just kind of got to roll with it, and like I knew that like the interview would happen, and I wasn't concerned about it. And it's like, if you're going to tell me that like, if you were willing to, like, you told me what was going on, and I just said, cool. Like,
right.
That's like it's like the word, like the lamest way I could explain that.
No, I get it. Yeah, it's. Yeah, I think you're a real good streamer, real good guy, and now's the time for you. As the interview's winding down, I didn't see any questions that any of the viewers had, but go ahead and throw out absolutely every social media that you want, for all the listeners in the future, so they can come and check you out.
All right, sick. I'll keep it really simple. If people want to follow me or check me out, if you're not already a part of everything, the simplest way I can do it is my Twitch. I just put it in the chat. All of my social media is in my Twitch banner. It's in my Twitch page. So you can literally just click a button and it shoots you around to wherever you want to check out. Discord's amazing. And then I have to shout out the squad, my sponsors.
Yeah. Go ahead,
if that's the word. If that's the word, I guess, for it.
Right.
Altered Edge. They are the gaming esports team community that I'm signed with. I signed a contract with them. They're my people, and they are fantastic. Which I got involved with them actually the same way I got involved with you was just streaming through social medias and Facebooks, came across somebody talking about it, and was like, yo, I'm a new streamer, I want to I was like, can I get involved with this? Like, I think I might do with it. But yeah, so they are a gaming community, competitive teams, content creators, and more. They are based out of Australia. I am their only USA member at the moment, so I'm kind of like the USA ambassador for the team right now.
Right.
If you want to check them out and you want to like see my profile and stuff on their website, all you have to do is follow this link I'll put in your chat. Bah. Bah. Boop. And head over to the site, content creators, variety, and I'm right there.
Gotcha.
And And I chill. Like I don't do any of the esports with them. I'm just a content creator at the moment. Um, I gotta refine my skills before I can jump into that avenue of the unit, I guess. But they're super amazing. They have content creators and esports teams specifically for female gamers, which I find fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Because the fact that I love when those kind of things get the proper recognition that they deserve. So so they have the whole thing. They're called the AE Vixens. So I highly recommend you guys checking them out. They're awesome content creators and they're really fun. Yeah. So anyways, that's my social media spiel. If you hang out, Kisa, thank you. If
All right.
yeah, so yeah, man.
I've got a couple things before we officially go off air. For my quote plugs. And you know this is the first time I'm making an announcement like this. I have a new show that I'm going to be recording for YouTube. It's going to be called Talking to Myself. Forrest over here has the the trailer script for it. It's basically just going to be about it's me talking to my alter egos, all these different things that are in my head, and just talking to them. And I'm also going to be changing the name, the main character's name. I don't like the name Glenn, so I'm going to be changing that. So make sure you keep an eye out for that on YouTube. If you haven't followed me on YouTube, I'm going to put it in the chat so you can check that out. Also, the podcast, this is going to be the last #GameSpeak podcast. Things are going to be changing with the podcasting. I have a co-host. Him and I are going to be doing all things nerdy. I'm not going to give a lot of detail on that yet because there's some fine-tuning that we have to do with it. But again, we'll bring more people on as guests and everything. But that's going to be literally all things nerdy. And I'm also going to be doing a different podcast, one by myself, where I talk about a bunch of random things that I like to talk about, and I'm going to be recording that here soon. And that the first episode is going to be my favorite. It's going to be talking about my favorite top 10 or top 20. I haven't decided yet. Villains across all forms of media. So make sure you guys check that out. And I want to say thank you, Forrest, for coming on. It was a pleasure, and we got to do this again sometime on one of the other two podcasts.
100%, man. I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah. Also, since I brought it up, top 10 villains and all that, Forrest, just give me one villain from any type of media that you like. Just any one. I'll tell you if they're on my list for top 10.
For villains, okay. Well, if we're going villains from any media, then it's got to be Joker from Batman.
The Joker is actually my number one villain. You nailed it right on the. Wow, I was expecting something in the lower numbers or not at all, but you went straight for the main villain. If you want to find out why he is my number one villain, make sure you pop in on the podcast. That's it for me. Thank you again, Forrest, for coming in. Thanks for everybody popping in and listening. And you can find if you missed the first part of the podcast, you can find it on YouTube or on Spotify. It'll be on both of them by the end of the day. Just search up #GameSpeak. Thanks everybody for coming in. Everybody have a wonderful day.